Hi, today I'm going to show you what's new in version 3.0.2. As you all know, this is what you already have with the grid already there. What is new is I've added these 3 dots, which you can scale the board as you wish. It doesn't mean that you can't do this, it's the same thing. And also this to scale the board. Also, there are a few options here for you to play with, which affects the visualized grid. You can show the corners and not show the grid, so you still have what it may look like. Or you can leave both of them on. Or you also have the padded tiles. I have a new option here, which includes the box padding. So if you were to have a 0 padding, then the sprites will be scaled until the edges of the box. So it's best to have a bit of padding, so you can see what it looks like using this checkbox here. You can also add the grid, so you can have a closer look and see what it looks like. And then also, if you zoom back out, I have a tooltip which gives you more information about the grid. So we have the current width, which you can see over here, it says 9. Current height 9, so if you scale it, it will tell you what is happening. And this XY is according to the grid number. So X0, Y0, this is box number X0, Y0, and then X0, Y1, and so forth. And this is the last one, which is X8, Y8. So this padded and tooltip feature is contributed by Sebastian. Hopefully I pronounced that right. If not, I'm sorry. Apart from that, I also revised the inspector panel here. If you can remember, last time it was like really big because of the board layout and you can't see the XYZ properly. But I've revised the board layout so that the board layout now has this by itself instead of affecting the entire inspector panel. So hopefully that's a big improvement. And also added this launch window, so you don't have to go to Windows, Match Framework Editor window. What you can do is now you can just click on this button and it will launch the same window. So I hope it's easier for users. Apart from that, it's all the same. You can still drag and resize the window, or you can go really small, and now you have this scroll so that you can still work with your small areas. That is concerning the board layout. Now I have a visualized grid down here, so this refers to the game manager panel. So if this was out of sync, all you have to do is just take the game manager panel and drag it there. This is for what you see on the screen to work. So most of the time you don't have to bother about it. And what else? Oh yeah, the board now resizes your prefabs, all of it, into the scale. So if I press play, you can see that they're all small, even the text. So if I were to do this, oops, I need to catch it. You can see the text are there and it's also scaled. So if I were to make it a really big box, it will also scale according. And I've moved away from the slice sprites that I mentioned in my first version of 2D Toolkit. So now I've moved back to normal sprites. You can choose whichever sprites works for you. I will scale it just the same. So even if this were, for example, the black one to be a slice sprite, it will still work. Yeah, but make sure that your anchor is always in the middle center. See? So yeah, I'll change this back to normal sprite and reduce the board scale of the board. This also works for 3D prefabs now. Before this, you have to add all the components yourself to the 3D prefabs, but now I've made everything automated, so you don't have to do anything as long you just need to drag it to the pieces here. I've also revised the inspector pieces, so it's no longer like T-match type 1, type 2 and all those earlier. According to the suggestion, I've revised it and now put it in the same panel, so everything is going to follow the normal pieces. So we have the horizontal pieces, we have the vertical pieces, and the star pieces, which is actually the sort of like the small little bomb, and the match 5 and match 6. So everything should be easier, or at least easier to know which is which now. So horizontal pieces, like everything is all H, and vertical pieces, everything is all V. Just make sure that they are in the correct order as your normal pieces, so that they don't appear wrongly. And just to show you the 3D prefabs, I've downloaded this baby dragons. This is a 3D prefab, and as you can see, this is original, and this is I modified a bit. What you will need to do for the 3D prefabs is that you will need to at least make sure that your prefab's anchor point is in the center. What I mean is, if I were to drag this green dragon out here, you will see that the 0, position of this prefab, it's down at its legs. Most character prefabs will have it at their bottom leg. What you would want to do is to make sure that the rig, I believe, is it the rig? Yeah, I think it's the rig, and make the center, is it the rig? Yep, and make it so that the original main root prefab, which is the green dragon, is somewhat centralized. It doesn't have to be exact, but at least, you know, just make sure that it's near the center, like that, so that, yeah, you can see it's like near the center. Why this is needed is that I'll show you in a while. If you would like to lock the panel, this is just a small little trick for Unity. You can lock this, and now you can select something else and this won't change. The lock is right here. So let's just say I get rid of this green dragon, and this blue dragon I haven't modified yet. I will put this blue dragon in place of the red gem, and when I play it, you can see that the blue dragon, because the center is at its feet, you can see what happens. So if I were to replace it with the green dragon, which I have already modified its center, it probably needs a bit more work. Oh no, I did not save the prefab value. Yeah, but for the red dragon I did save it. So if I were to drag the red dragon here, you can see it's much better now. I did not save the prefab value just now because I was just modifying it in the scene view. I forgot to do that. Remember, if you need to save it, all you have to do is select it, get the rig going. Oops, let's not be in play. Select the rig, drag it down to the center, make sure it's like somewhere near the center. It's a bit on its head now, go up a bit, Yeah, so that's somewhat center. Undo the lock and make sure you hit apply. If not, you can also go to assets, game objects, and apply changes to prefab. It's the same button. So now I can throw this away, go back to my game manager panel and drag the green dragon over, and now it will appear exactly like the red dragon. See, much better. And if we go to the scene view, not select anything, we have our 3D objects here. Unfortunately, it's facing the wrong way by default, so you'll have to adjust it. So yeah, see, we have our green dragon. And I've also adjusted the collider. So I can drag the prefabs. So all this is now done automatically. You don't have to do anything except drag your 3D objects. So even now, if I were to drag and make this really small and just play it, this is one of the common mistakes that I keep doing by myself, which the board is not so small but the objects are really small. Is because of the box padding, because you did not change the box padding value. So just make sure, see the box padding is 0.8 and the size is 1, so that leaves about 0.2 spacing for the board left for the pieces. So what you want to do is make the box padding maybe slightly smaller. It will reflect the changes here, so you can see the box padding. See how it goes. So just say I want it to be about like that. So when I hit play, see the pieces are slightly bigger now. So the green dragon, yeah. So I hope this will make your game creation easier by having this. So you can do like this and make it really big. It works the same way. No. So yeah, that's about it. That's all the changes that I should explain. So as you can see, the green dragon was the original prefab. I did not add any components to it. Everything is now done automatically by the JMF, so you don't have to bother. This was just an original game object that I created just to test it as well. If you want these green dragons, you can download it from the asset store free. It's not going to be included in the JMF release. Okay, see you. Thanks. One other thing I would like to add is that, okay, if I were to make this a normal board again, okay, when I hit play, as you can see, there's this stats option here while you're in play, which gives you the statistics of your graphics. Not really your statistics of your CPU processing, but more on the graphics. So you can use this as a mini profiler if you need to. And you can see that there are 25 draw calls here. 25 draw calls. Each new prefab 3D prefab that I've added to the scene by the board takes a draw call. So if I were to revert this green dragon back to the red gem, which is using a sprite, it reduces the draw call. Sorry, just let the bot settle. As you can see, I have reduced the draw call to about 3, and when a suggested piece starts scaling, it goes up to 5. Also, when the combo is scaling, it takes a draw call. So if I were to go to the three gems You can see that it goes up and down, 9, 11. Of course, when all the animations are playing, as well as the combo is moving and the gems are moving, not the gems moving, but the gems when it's being suggested scales, it takes a draw call. So when everything settles down, it goes back down to 3. So keep in mind of the draw calls, because if you're aiming for lower end mobiles, it may only accept a certain limit of draw calls. So using sprites, 2D sprites, will help minimize your draw call. And if you need animation, 2D Toolkit has a sprite animation, so it's not necessary to use 3D objects unless you know that your target platform can take the amount of draw calls. So if I were to say I take the game manager panel, let me lock this, I go back out to the baby dragon and replace the red gem with a green dragon, which is a 3D prefab, you will notice that it will take way more draw calls from about 9 to 11 when it was moving and 3 when it's not moving. You can see that now it's stagnant and it's already at 41. So like each one dragon is one extra draw call. So I'm not sure how many dragons here, but this explains it. There's like 41 draw calls right now. So I'm not sure whether there's a trick to reducing the draw calls for each 3D objects, but just keep this in mind, your draw calls. Yeah. So yeah, you can see the 30 over. When I take out these 4 dragons, it goes down to 20. I take out these 3 dragons, it goes down to 18 just now, and another dragon came in. So yeah, so if I were to go back out to the scene, this scene only takes 1 draw call. As you can see, when I have no dragons, the draw call is very little. One of the other reasons why in the earlier versions this was green, because it was a default 2D Toolkit button. I changed it to my own sprite just to reduce the draw call. 1 extra draw call, it may mean a lot sometimes. So just keep the draw calls in mind when you are making your game, if you're targeting for mobile platforms that have not so advanced processing. Thanks.